Hello, everybody. You've tuned in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. The continued support of this show is very much appreciated. We thank Tom Trial for putting us on YouTube and behind-the-scenes work that he does for our YouTube production of this show. We are with a couple of guests today from up north. We have Sergeant Tony Slocum of the Peru Post. He's a public information officer at the Peru Post. And also T.J. Sizer, who is the sergeant and in charge of the clean team, which is something that we've never talked about on the Indiana State Police, but I'm sure maybe if you're on our Nixle releases, you've seen some releases from Tony about the clean team up in the Peru area. So welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for being here. TJ, thank you for coming down.
Well, thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming all this way with Tony. Was the ride okay, or did he scare you? Or,
No, I was a little scared, but got used to it over the years.
Tony, thanks for coming down, buddy. I appreciate you being here.
Hey, always appreciate it. I'm glad you decided to talk about what we think is a very worthwhile effort that we're doing up north, maybe letting the rest of the state know the good efforts that our officers are doing up there.
Speaking of up north, how those Irish people doing?
Yeah, we're moved on. It's basketball season. We'll start in January.
So you moved on. You're not.
Well, we still got.
You haven't
one
got your
more
bowl
game.
tickets.
No, I can't afford that. But got to support your team when they're down. But heads are hung a little lower since their last game against Stanford. But basketball season's looking good up there for Notre Dame.
And you've always got next year, right?
Next year.
Always
next year.
Famous line.
That's right.
Next year.
Well, guys, I appreciate you coming down, and we're going to talk something that is going good. It looks like it's been a positive effect up there in northern Indiana, something that was a problem and has been addressed by the state police. It's the clean team. And Tony, what's a clean team?
Well, it stands for a combined law enforcement effort against narcotics, and what it is 11 law enforcement entities from Fulton and Miami counties with the emphasis on fighting meth-related crimes. But, of course, they're not turning a blind eye and have not turned a blind eye to any other drug-related issues because not just with the methamphetamine they're also finding, as in a lot of different parts of our state, their heroin problems that we have. But, again, it's a combined group of law enforcement officers, which Sergeant Zizer can speak on a little bit, but they've been doing great work, and we've been receiving a lot of positive interaction with not just those law enforcement agencies, but the feedback we're receiving from the community is outstanding.
And I'm sure, TJ, that there was a problem there that you guys had to address, and it came forward to you, and we must work well with other law enforcement agencies up there in that area for this team to come together.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've been dealing with the meth issue as the rest of the state has since the late 1990s. And the problem we have is a lot of our rural communities, they don't have large enough law enforcement agencies to combat the problem unless we all work together.
Yeah.
So, and that's really what brought us to where we are today and what helped form the clean team. Was that, if in Miami and Fulton County, neither one had an active drug task force. Because of that, there was no spearhead against illegal narcotics in that area. So if we weren't blessed enough for our enforcement personnel, when I say ours, any of the agencies working in that area, to come across it on a traffic stop, we weren't finding it. And no fault of theirs. It's just not enough manpower out there to do everything that needs done. So the clean team, what it allowed us to do was everybody put their resources together. So, for example, now if we're doing something in Fulton County, it's not Fulton County Sheriff's Department doing it alone. Now it's being done with every other agency. So instead of one guy dealing with the problem or two guys and then pulling people off the road to try to address it, we move 8 to 10 guys into that area to combat the problem. It's been a huge success in the area. We've been real blessed.
Well, I'm sure sharing that information is probably one of the most important things that you find from this anyways, just getting that constant information of this bad guy talking to this bad guy, we're arresting this person who's related to this person or has contact with that person, and just getting that constant flow of information out there is probably helping out tremendously.
Oh, absolutely. And we were lacking that before.
Right.
We have daily briefs now with the agencies all showing up. So the information put on the table, and instead of we may be working a case and another agency's working a case on the backside of that, not realizing. We've just really been able to put all of our resources together. And resources are another great point of it. Fulton County may have a piece of equipment that Miami County doesn't have.
Right.
And what this allowed to happen is a team to come together and pull their equipment together, resources together, vehicles together. It's been great. So the information exchange has been really good. It's working back and forth well. We've included, when I say included, we've worked well with the Drug Enforcement Section, the Indiana State Police, the Meth Suppression Section. Basically, all those entities that work the area have came together, along with enforcement, the Sheriff Departments, the Prosecutor's Offices, the Probation Departments, State Parole, State Excise. I mean, it's a long list.
Right.
And everybody come to the table, and for lack of a better way to say it, they put their egos at the door.
Yeah.
Everybody comes in to work hard, and everybody's an equal at the table.
So how many counties are involved in this?
Currently at 2 counties.
Okay.
With approximately 11 agencies.
Okay.
And that tends to want to grow daily. So
Really? So you're having everybody from the city or local, county, state, and federal?
There's nobody from the feds that are assigned to the actual task force.
Okay.
But we're in communication with the feds daily on cases. Currently, so in Miami County, you got Miami County Sheriff Department, Miami County Prosecutor's Office, Peru Police Department, Miami County Probation Department. In Fulton County, you got Fulton County Sheriff's Department, Rochester Police Department, Fulton County Prosecutor's Office. Then state agencies, you got State Parole, so the Department of Corrections, State Excise, the ISP, and then Department of Natural Resources.
Wow.
So
that's great. So, and I'm sure you're finding too that drugs lead to other things. You're probably solving burglaries, other thefts and things that we know go hand in hand with the drug trade world.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a great point. The intelligence that's came in, and the state police has really came behind us in the administration with that. They've given us all the resources of our intelligence people, the CIU division. So those folks are working with us real close. That information is coming in, being given to them, and then they're putting it in the systems where it needs to go. Plus, then they're also, when we're contacting them, running system checks and so on the people that we need the checks done on. So it's been great. Yeah, there's been a handful of crimes, which some of them are still ongoing. Can't really talk about them right now, but to where have been solved or will be solved, where there's been arrest based upon the narcotics investigations that are taking place.
Well, you're listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. And we're speaking with Tony Slocum, the Public Information Officer at Peru Post, and Sergeant T.J. Zeiser from the Indiana State Police Peru Post, also, who's the spearheading the clean team in that area. Tony, your area, the community, you say they've grabbed this and went with it. Are you finding community support and also the media support with this?
Right. The media has been very on board with getting our information out, because we also not just put out releases on the people we've arrested and things like that. We also want people to give us information.
Okay.
And we do have a hotline that we're trying to get out to the public, but I don't have that number exactly memorized right now. I was trying to pull it up.
Oh, you're talking about the state police tip line?
Yeah. And I do have the number now. It's 1-800-453-4756.
1-800-453-4756.
That's the Indiana State Police drug tip line.
Okay.
And we put that number in the media, and the media has been great getting that out for us, and also letting drug dealers know, hey, we're coming after you, because they use our information quite frequently. One thing I did want to emphasize with the clean team is, even though it was formed because Fulton and Miami counties don't have a drug task force, they don't turn a blind eye to drug-related crimes in the other 5 counties within the Indiana State Police Peru District. So they do still, as they traditionally have, work with the drug task force in other counties within our district. So that's outstanding. But I live in Fulton County, so to have this group of law enforcement officers come in and solve a problem in my community is something great to see personally, from just being a citizen of Fulton County, but also being the media spokesperson and seeing the great work and information sharing that goes on. It makes you proud to be a police officer, because what they're doing is they're attacking a problem that needs to be addressed, and they're doing an outstanding job.
Are you finding that more people are coming forward to you now that you've made this available to them and it's been aware out there in the area?
Yeah, absolutely. The public is, Tony said, they've embraced it. The guys have embedded themselves in the communities enough now that they're owning their community,
right?
Which is fantastic. That was what we were looking for. So therefore, all their resources and people they know in their circles of friends and acquaintances, they're all calling them direct, which is great. So that information comes right to us. Not only that, but the name's been out enough thanks to the local media and so on, everybody involved, that now we get direct calls, and they literally ask for the group to investigate it. And they're starting to have faith in us, which we appreciate.
Yeah.
And again, it's just been really good. So we're more of our approach is a very aggressive approach.
Mm-hmm.
We don't sneak around at night and don't want anybody to know we're out there. And
right.
When we formed this, all the department heads and local leaders, we told them going into it that we wanted them to know that if you're dealing illegal narcotics in our area, if you're involved in these criminal activities, that this group was going to come after you, and we were going to try to make you accountable for those activities. And that's what we're trying to do. And again, it's been great.
Now, do you use uniform officers, undercover officers, a combination of both, or how does that work out?
Across the board, we're using everything.
Okay.
We're utilizing ISP canines and local canines. We're using every resource that we can possibly use is being used in these investigations. Probation, state parole, the local sheriff departments and PDs have their own areas of specialties and expertise. We're utilizing that. If there is any way that we can legally, morally, and ethically investigate a crime,
mm-hmm.
we're doing it. So everything from traffic stops to covert operations with the drug enforcement section and so on.
Do you have local media up there that you speak to on this, radio and TV, and are the schools, have you heard from them about this? Right.
The media, as I indicated earlier, has been very proactive with us because we put it out there all the time is narcotics, dealing, use, addiction, things like that are not just a police problem. It's a community problem.
Right.
And in these small communities where we patrol mainly in the Peru district, everybody takes a little bit of ownership of the community, and that includes the media. And they've been very helpful. Again, we're getting our tip line out with letting the public in general know, hey, despite what you see on TV, on some of the national news coverages, police officers are out there trying to make their communities better. And that's what the Clean Team is doing. And it's I know sometimes the state police, we get credit for a lot of things, and credit is deserved in this case also, but it is truly a team. It's not just the Indiana State Police.
Right.
We were lucky enough to get permission from the post commander, Lieutenant Jeremy Kelly, all the way up our state police food chain to get this started with Sergeant Zeiser. But the cooperation, not just from the police officers, but as you indicated, from the media and from the citizens in our communities is just outstanding. Unfortunately, it's a problem, and our guys in the Clean Team are making a lot of arrests, but that seems to be what the public wants. They want this problem solved, and that goes hand in hand with the recent announcements from Governor Pence about solving the drug addiction problem in our communities, as we're the enforcement arm of that process. So right now we're doing an outstanding job, but the job's not done. Again, we want the public's help, and you don't have to necessarily live in Fulton and Miami counties to provide information.
Right.
We'll investigate. We're the state police. We'll pass information on to people if it needs to be passed on, and if we can investigate it, we'll investigate it.
Well, guys, we've knocked this out. We've run out of time, but I appreciate you coming all the way down from Peru and talking about this very, very worthwhile endeavor that you've taken off. And again, like you said, the Clean Team is a team, and it sounds like you're doing some great work up there.
Oh, thank you.
We appreciate you being here.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Tony.
you.
Thanks, DJ. Well, again, you've been listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. I've been speaking with TJ Sizer, Sergeant with the Clean Team in Peru Post, Sergeant Tony Slocum, the Media Relations Public Information Officer at the Peru Post, talking about their Clean Team drug enforcement team that they have there in the Peru Post in the Fulton and Miami County area. Again, thank you for listening to the ISP Roadshow. We'll catch you next week. Roadshow out.